Morning. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Fine, sir. Just a second. Just a second. We'll wait 2 to 3 minutes more and then we'll start. Uh, Before that, any queries do you have in mind till now? Whatever we have covered.
No, Sunat, so far, no.
Welcome this to others. I see Ram. So let me share my screen quickly with you guys. Oh, just a second. Just a second. Let me do a log into my system. Password. So just sharing my screen. And is it visible to you guys now?
Not yet, Sanat.
Sorry?
Not yet, it is not visible yet. Let me refresh again.
Other guys? Yeah, you can refresh once.
No, it's not visible.
Is it now?
Yes, Anand. Yeah, I can see.
Okay. Okay. Nice. So let's take this session to code trend configuration. Okay. So in our last class on Sunday, what we covered was we completed the configuration for the at the HCI side for any prepackaged content, or let's say for ECC to ECC to C4C or ECC to SuccessFactor, we have completed the configuration at the HCI. So being an HCI consultant, we need to do that much task only. We have to configure the sender, we have to configure the receiver, and if it's required, we can do the customization. So let me quickly do a little bit of customization, means how that customization would be done. Like if we need to change the mapping or if we need to change any fields. Okay, so rather than that, let's complete an ECC, then only we'll do the customization. It would be the secondary part. Let's first complete the things which are required in our ECC side. Okay. So in ECC, how many of you are aware of ALE configuration? Heard of it, worked on it? None. ALE configuration, the IDOC configuration. Have you heard of it? Hello?
Yes, Anand. Yes, Anand. We are aware of it. Yes.
Okay. So, you know as what is exactly ALE means, how to configure our IDOC, uh, how to create any IDOC from scratch or configure any IDOC from scratch. If not, I will be sharing that document with you guys also. The step-by-step ALE configuration. In this document, you have all the steps which are required to uh, means which are mandatory when you are connecting to SAP system via IDOC or one SAP system to your PI system. Okay, so whatever the configurations are required, it is uh, shown in this document. Okay, so means you can open this document, you can check what is SM59, means uh, what are the ports configuration, what are the partner profile creation, what is the distribution model, whom should this IDOC should go, where from this IDOC would be generated. So these are means this is very nice document, means you can it's not a big one. All the steps are specified with screenshots, so you can take a reference of this document for ALE configuration. Now, once you know ALE configuration, means once you have an idea of what exactly ALE configuration is, what we do to send our IDOC outside our SAP network, let's do a standard ALE configuration. So what is standard ALE configuration? Day before yesterday, we seen that in PI, in our HCI, there is something called the pre-packaged content, where are some things called prerequisite support packages required in your ECCN. Okay, that we see in the package that this would be the support package which is required at the ECCN to connect to your HCI. Okay, so that is a primary requirement. After that primary requirement, if your system is on par with the support package which is required by your HCI, what you do, you go for an if you are going for an standard configuration of your IDOC, what you do for C4C, SAP gives a standard package which will create your which will create your ports and your message types and your IDOC types, basic types. So for that basic type, what is basic type, what is IDOC type, you can take this reference from this document. Okay. Um, so for that standard ALE configuration, there is a support patches which are been installation patches which have been provided by SAP called code rent. Okay. I will be sharing this document, don't worry if you don't remember the name. So code rent is a patch which you need to download from the marketplace and install that to your ECC system. Okay, there would be some, sorry for that. There would be some standard patch files which you or your basis team need to download. Okay, you just need to ask the basis team to download the code rent patches and install those to or import those to your ECC system. Okay, this is the primary requirement if you want to have a standard configuration ready in your ECC side. Okay. So once you have done that, means if that is installed, this transaction code CRCOD underscore connectivity would be available in your ECC system. Getting it? Without this patches, this transaction code or this report, means whatever the report which is in the background of this transaction is not available. Okay, so go to this report. Okay. Go to this report or this transaction. I'm copying this transaction and run this. It will take you to this screen. The same report will be doing the same thing. You can copy this report, open in SC38, and it will take you to the same landing page. So both are pointing to same report. Now, what we do, once we have this report, we can create our standard ports and standard connection directly for our HCI in our ECC system. So it reduces your task, your manual task of creating your ports, your partner profile, no, not exactly partner profile configuration, but your SM59 connections and your data IDOC type. Those things would be automatically created by this report for you. Okay. So generally means if we don't know, people do tend to create these things from scratch and it takes too much of time and your project estimation is also not correct. If you have this report, it would be very quick to implement. Okay, because generally this is not your task, it is something your ABAP team will do. Okay, your ABAP team would be doing this configuration in the ECC end, but means they would be not aware of this thing, so you can explain to them or you can do it yourself also. You can just import this support package. You can ask your basis team to import the support packages in your ECC system and run this report. Now when you run this report, see what happens when you run this report. And these things are also there, this document, what all steps are there and what all things you need to do. Okay, and this is not particular to your HANA Cloud Integration, it gives connectivity via PI also. But this quadrant is specific to your C4C. Okay, you will understand how what I'm talking about. Okay, so whichever middleware tool you have in your landscape, let's say you have the ECC landscape, you have the PI landscape. So you can select the single stack PI. You can select the dual stack PI. Okay, or your HANA Cloud Integration. So it has given the connectivity, the report for all the three. Okay, in our case, it's HANA Cloud Integration. Click on next. Okay, now which all systems or which all functionality do you want to activate for your C4C system? It's a big thing. Means you need to know that is my master data being replicated from my C4C to ERP or vice versa? Is that the scenario? Is my business partner getting replicated from my ERP to cloud solution? Okay. Is my contact address the day before yesterday someone asked me to create different interfaces for different scenarios for even master data. So yeah, we have to do it, and you have to select those things here itself. So means, do we want to replicate account hierarchy from ERP to your cloud system? Okay, so it would be both vice versa in the scenario. Okay. So whichever scenario or whichever interface you think is in your scoping document, and do take this scoping document for the longer run, not only short period of time. By default, I selected all. I was not aware of what all things were there, so by default I selected all. So for those all, there were ports created and connection template was created, and even if I didn't use it, those were there. So my thing, generally my way is I select all of this. Okay, even in the document is the initial thing which I did first day. Okay, means what I did on first day while implementing this C4C to ECC, I selected these things like this. Okay, whichever one. I won't be completing this because I don't want to have a replicated object in my scenario, but I will be showing all the steps rather, but not the creating step. Anyway, so once this is done, guys, you are there, na?
Yes, and yes,
There, na? Yeah. Going with this. Okay. So whichever one suits you, select those. Okay. Click on next. Okay. Same steps are there with the highlighted fields. Select this and then click on next. Okay. You have a detailed document. And now the next thing comes is which logical system. Okay. Logical system is the name which defines your means if you are aware of ALE configuration, then I don't need to tell you, but generally logical system is logically which system are you identifying to which the data is going. So you can give it any name, but you should follow the nomenclature of your company. Okay, so something like some guys, if the it's the CRM system, so you write CRM CLNT and the client number. So whatever the way your company follows for naming convention of that logic system, do follow that. Okay, means it's not about what I have given, it's not about what is the standard. There is no standard way of giving it. It's always the uh, nomenclature of your company. So in this case, let's give the this one. Okay, this has already been created, so that's why if the logical system is not created, create here. Okay. If someone can give me the table transaction name for this logical creation of logical system. Anybody remember? BD54. Okay. Anyway, so hello. So in this transaction here, create a logical system and give that logical system name here. Click on next. Okay. Now the main task comes. What is the URL of my HCI? So which is my URL? Okay. So I have discarded it, but let me give you the URL. So this is the URL.
It should be tenant management
No,
URL.
No. It should be my worker node. 1 second. Let me get that worker URL. Just a second. Just a second. Let those URL populate. Yeah, let me take it from another point. Yep. So this is your URL, runtime URL of your HCI. Okay. Service 443. Okay. Service 443, give the user ID. There is no proxy host or proxy service or proxy user. There is nothing like that. Either you authenticate via user ID password or via SSL certificate. So it can be your, which means if you have the basic authentication and if the client has bought the SSL certificate, you can directly import those SSL certificate. It will give you the browse option to import those certificates to your S-Trust, and then from here you can import those, or if you don't, you can click on basic authentication and give your user ID password. So
this certificate is actually export from HCI and import it here, right?
Correct. We had a class on that. No? How to, if you are the customer, then you have your link to download your certificate, and if you don't, then you can ask the customer or either go to your administrator via that download the certificate. Correct? Remember?
Yeah. So you will import it in the import PSC, is it?
Huh?
Import PSC?
Yeah, import PSC.
Okay. Okay.
So let's say these are my one. Okay. Now what I have done, I have given a password here. There is no proxy connection. This is my URL. I will click on next. Okay. And it will say, okay, so this all things you wanted to configure. Okay. It is just in review steps, whatever you have done till now. Okay, so it's saying that you have selected this scenario from ERP to your cloud, and vice versa also. Selected scenario from your cloud solution to ERP means if the data is coming from your ERP to from your cloud and it is being replicated to your ERP. Okay, so the next thing comes is click on generate. Okay, I'm not doing that right now because I have already created this. The only thing which waits is just you have to click on yes. So means if I click on generate, it will give me a pop-up says you want to generate this. I will say yes. As of now, I'm not doing yes, but as soon as I do yes, the next screen will be showing you the ports and the reports which the reports and the post and the destination which are created for this scenario. So what are the scenarios we have selected? We have selected organized structure. We have selected employee. Uh, for product, you have the standard IDOC. So you will be created with some uh, destination and the IDOC type. So destination would be for material underscore mat. For customers it would be demas. So like that your for employee underscore EMPL, for all this your ports and destinations would be created automatically in your ECC system. Okay. Got it. So once you have done the code rent configuration, okay, and then the basic ALE configuration to assign, let's say if some customer is being generated, so you have to assign an output type to that IDOC type. So I'm not covering those things, those basic things here. Okay, so how to assign the IDOC type, the output type to that IDOC type. As soon as that customer is created, your IDOC would be generated. So those things can be taken care by ABAP team or functionality. Okay, we are not concerned about those things, but we are only concentrating on how to connect your HCI to your ECC or vice versa. Okay, so if I have created, my ports are created, my my destinations are created. Can you guide me how to go to where exactly my destination are created, or where exactly I will see the ports which are right now created? Anybody?
WSD. Isn't what is the transaction to check the connectivity? It's RCP underscore E2E connectivity, or what is that?
Which one? SM59.
No. How to test the connectivity? There is a transaction code, right? RCP underscore E2E underscore connectivity.
That is only for your PI.
So from here we cannot test the connectivity.
No. You are talking about this, the proxy RFC response. This one?
Now there is a report which execute the connectivity.
Yeah.
End-to-end connectivity.
At the end,
No. There is
these are the only reports.
Can you check underscore E2E underscore connectivity? Something is there. Star underscore E2E
report.
And report only.
One second, let me. Yeah. Underscore.
E2E underscore connectivity.
EEP.
E2E. E number 2E.
This is
E2E underscore connectivity. Yeah.
SOP. Okay.
Yeah.
Not aware of this one.
First one, the first one.
Does this work in PI?
No, this will work to check whether the ECC is connected with HCI properly or not.
HCI.
Yeah.
E2E, but why? How can it be? Which URL should I give? Let me come on this back because I haven't done this. I haven't checked the connectivity
Just to verify your No, this is just to verify your ALE settings is working fine or not. Just a connectivity check one. You remember there is a transaction code for 3i to check XXMB underscore.
Yeah.
So similar way this one. So this is.
Oh, nice to see her. Let me write it somewhere. Thanks. And this was, who was saying this?
Sorry?
Shankar. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Shankar.
Yeah, no problem.
So here we have done the configuration. Now in the W21, okay, so W20 is for the partner profile. In W21, you define your ports or you configure your ports. Okay, so you have the HTML ports because XML HTTP ports which are created. Just now we had given this name. Okay, so each port means now the difference between your PI and HCI comes. Okay, in PI what we do, we generally create one port, and via that one port we are sending all our data. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, you are right. Yes, that will not be XML HTTP. That will be different. Yeah.
Different. It would be transactional RFC, and via that we are just sending all our data to the PI system. But when it comes to your HCI being an cloud integration, okay, means based on cloud, and there is no specific method to identify which metadata is coming and which through which IDOC data IDOC type the data is coming from PI from ECC. You have to keep every iFlow as a individual port here. So let's say if I am sending my data to different receivers, and three different IDOCs are created. Let's say for destination 1, 2, 3. Okay. So for those three, if I have different logic, then I won't be able to send it to same PI, and I can do the sending of data. Here what I will do, I will create different destination for different receivers. So see, I have different type of logical systems also. So one for one HANA cloud system, for one cloud system, these are the list for some other logical system, and this for another logical system. So you would be having a list of logical systems and ports which would be sending a specific data to specific iFlow. Now where the changes come, see the configuration changes in the port. Double click on the RFC destination. These RFC destinations are also created automatically by those reports. Double click on this. You need to provide the path prefix. Now what is this path prefix? If you can identify, this is the real path of my iFlow which I have defined in my sender adapter. Getting me? So if I see that any standard
IDOC sender adapter, you need to give this path as an endpoint.
Rather than giving there the rather than creating here the path and then giving it there, what we do the configuration first in our HCI, okay, of our sender adapter for our IDOC. We generate the URL and then we give that path prefix here. So let's see, this is for my, anyway, this is for my tab mask. Let's check for some materials or sales orders. I should have some iFlow for installation point business partner to ERP, business partner to ERP. Okay, so in this case, I must have had a port for that also. Okay. So in this, again, there is a variable substitution or externalized parameter. Okay, so this would be my path prefix, address 8. So address 8 is this. So this is the path prefix. Okay, so I will see if there is a material one. This is address. This is again address. Just a second, it will take a matter. Yeah, so this is for material. Okay, this destination is specific to material. Okay, and what we have taken, this was my master EP master application. No, no, this is some other scenario. Business partner application, and I'm saying the master data application once again. And this all scenarios would be created based on the scenario. Means all these objects would be created based on the scenarios you have selected. Automatically this RFC destination, this port would be created in your HCI. Hey, just to understand, just to get the detail of what this means. So this is the material one. So instead of this business partner application, we will be giving this as my path. Okay. Okay. Got it. So here you define that the data should be going, means from this port, this RFC destination, the data should be hits URL only. And what is the URL? Okay, what is the URL? Full URL is this one. You can go to the service endpoint from here, check this one. I will get that URL here, one second. Business partner application, PP master application, material, where is material, manage this one. Okay, so this is my full URL, copy the endpoint URL, I'm placing this here. Okay, this is my full URL. Okay, so my target host is already defined. It knows that it's an HTTPS type of connection, and this is the one which I have provided in my target host. Okay, see, this is the thing which is showing in my target host, and this would be my path prefix. Getting me? Okay. So till .com, it is my target host, and path prefix is the actual iFlow detail, actual
Sanath, can you hear me? Hello? Hey, Sanath, can you hear me?
It's not in the line.
Okay.
Hello, is anyone there?
Yes, Anat.
Hi Shankar, this is Saira. I've rejoined the session, so I'm asking.
Okay, okay. I think the screen got frozen, so we are waiting for someone to rejoin.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Hello?
Yes, Anat, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. How much means for 2 to 3 minutes the connection was lost or more than that?
No, more than that. So you are in that same screen, port screen.
Which one?
You are typing the URL in that notepad, right?
Okay. In the RNC destination, correct? Port configuration.
Correct.
So we were in the MatMask one. what I took this URL from my HCI. Okay, this is the HCI URL which has been generated when we deployed this artifact to the HCI tenant or HCI live. Okay, so means once we have so first step is to deploy your HCI content to your cloud. Okay, then only you will have this URL generated. Okay, so always do the configuration based out of this. And then you have to provide those URL details in your ECC system. Okay, so what you have given, you have given the target host and your whatever the path prefix. Okay, so this is done. Now go to your logon and security. In logon to security, you will be providing your basic authentication details. Okay, whatever your basic authentication, let's say you have some US user ID and those things, you can give your basic authentication details. Okay, just save it and move it all along. Okay, so your RFC destination connection is completed in your HCI and in your ECCN. Now the next thing comes is your partner profile configuration. So what is partner profile configuration? For those of you guys, it's just a way of defining which message type should be used, which message type should use the this port to process their messages. Okay, so go to WE21, WE21. No, no, not W21, W20,
Yes.
W20,
Another
and
one basic
here
question.
under, yes sir,
See, you gave worker node in the configuration. Here it is showing tenant management, right?
yes. No, that is
Okay.
also worker node. Where it's tenant management.
No, here it is showing tenant management node, right?
Where?
In the destination.
No, this is worker node.
This is worker node. So the same worker node you gave
Yeah,
there is the connectivity one.
yes sir.
Okay, okay, all right.
Okay. See, tenant management node always have the TMN in its URL.
Okay,
This is the
okay.
TMN. See, okay. If it's IFL map, whatever it says, IFL map, then it's the worker node or the runtime node. Means in general terms, it's your runtime node. Okay, runtime URL. Now
Okay.
we have the connection ready. Means we have a ECC is ready to send the data to your HCI. Let's say. Okay. Now we want to define which IDOC should use which port to send the data. Okay. So how do we do that? I just went to the WE20. In WE20, you define this configuration, and this is universal to all the middleware. It's not, this setting is not specific to HCI. You have to do this configuration for all middleware. You need to create a logical system name. Let's, in this case, our logical system name is the PSRY. Okay, 01M PSRI. Okay, just for the reference. And in this, you define which is your outbound parameters and which are inbound parameters. So outbound parameters means you are sending this message type to outside network with some specific uh, ports. So I will be defining one, create an outbound parameter. Let's say my partner role is, one second, means these are not compulsory fields. Okay, so if my partner profile, partner role is, uh, just a second. Hello.
Yes, MS.
Yes. So so let's say message type is my metamask. Okay. And my receiver port which we have just now defined as my PSRI04, which is specific to processing of my metamask IDOC to the, which will be sending the metamask IDOC to outer network. I will just double click outer network. Let's say please fill the required. Yeah, sorry. Before even going to the partner profile, receiver port, we need to define the basic type also of your IDOC. So which is my basic type? I will just for it. It will give me a list of 4 to 5 IDOCs. Yeah. So this is my 4 to 5 basic type. If my data is going outside, let's say this one is preferable for me, 05. So this is my basic type. If I have extended a IDOC, let's say in case I want to add some new fields or new node to my IDOC, I can create new nodes, new segments in my uh, W30, W31. Then again, I can attach those segments to my this basic type. So if you again want to get in details about the ALE configuration, you can uh, take the reference of the document which I will be sharing with you. Okay, so as of now, you'd think is this is your your standard IDOC which is flowing outside your ECC system. Okay, now in this, you in the message control and those things, whatever the things are required, you can do those configuration. Okay, if I'm missing something, no, I don't want to go to IDOC. Okay. And my partner profile configuration would be done. So this means my data is ready to go outside my network via my ECC system, and the outside network system is my HCI system. Okay, and the same URL means the URL I have defined that thing, that URL I have already deployed in my cloud. Okay, and for this receiver end, the receiver end, let's say in our case would be the C4C, or the receiver end would be in our case, if it's not outbound, if it's coming inside, then it would be our ECC. So we should be getting those details before configuring our HCI also. So we need to have the receiver system URL. If my ECC is sender, then I have to deploy my HCI first and then get those generated URL to my HCI, to my ECC, so that they can create the SM59 configuration. So there are particular way of flow of doing the things. Okay. Uh, so as of now, we are done with the configuration of our ECC end. Okay. Now we will be going for the configuration at our C4C end. Okay. So let's go for the C4C system. Just give me 1 minute. I'm unsharing my screen. I have to put my user ID passwords in the URL. Okay, C4C. But in the meantime, are you able to grasp what I'm trying to tell, and is it understandable by you guys? Means whatever these things which we do in the ECC end. Okay.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay. So do you want me to take the C4C altogether from tomorrow, because it would be longer session and we will be understanding all the steps from that?
yeah, that should be fine for me. Check with
Okay.
some
Because why I'm
time
saying
for
that, because that would be purely for the C4C. Okay, what exactly things are required in C4C? What are the steps in C4C? We will be seeing the implementation of C4C also, because means implementing initial implementation which is required in C4C. We will be viewing that also. Okay, and then we will be uh, doing the communication channel configuration, what is the communication channel configuration, what are the communication arrangements, what are the means, if we have the sender, if we have the receiver. So all those configurations we will be trying to look. Okay.
Okay.
And the matter of fact, one thing is I am stuck somewhere myself because my client has just now lost the certificates. So the certificates would be the standard certificates which are we are using to send data through to and fro through our HCI. Those certificates are lost. So we have raised to our customer, our uh, client, and they will be coming back with the certificate details. So anyway, that is not a big thing because we need to understand what the configuration is. Those certificates will be kind of an admin task. So anyway, I am stuck there so that I have raised to SAP and them because our data is not flowing as of now. The same system which I am showing you, the data is not flowing and it's kind of stuck badly. So even there is a priority call which is going on for that. Anyway, I will be updating you on those things also because these things would be handy for you guys also when you go in the live scenarios. Okay.
Yes, sir. I agree.
Can you start little bit early then, if it's a longer section?
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow 8. The thing is, there is some personal issue that I cannot start before the 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock in my area because there's a power cut and power failure. The star means the light comes at fixed time 8. So I have to be on 8. But after 8, I can extend if you want. I can extend till 10 or 11 also for me. It's not a big issue for me. But
But for us it's late.
just
That's why.
for you, yeah. That is where we are getting stuck. Anyway, still we will be completing this our sessions before this Friday. Friday we will be having our final session and questionnaires and all whatever the things which you want to learn extra or whatever the documents you want apart from what I have give training to you. You can let me know and we will be understanding those things. Okay. Anyway, guys, if there are no questions, then we can sync up tomorrow.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yep. Yes. Bye.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye.